Greetings, citizens of Tetris. It is your old pal Van Dweller back with more classic Tetris monthly Masters event for August 2025. And yeah, we are in our top 16 now. And what we've got for you is a 3-match top 16 bracket. Can you imagine? We didn't break it up. We didn't go, oh, someone can only play at 2 a.m. and the other person at 6 a.m. No, actually a full top 16 bracket of 3 matches. So pretty excited about this one. It's going to be our orange and yellow bracket. Our reigning CTM champion Pixelandy will be taking on Sunny, who is a delight in the classic Tetris community. And in the yellow bracket, it's going to be former CTM Masters, Faster Masters winner Danv taking on Crytical Lapis. And then the winners of those 2 matches will play to determine who gets into the semifinals. And let me see what is happening in our semifinals. Well, what is happening is that we've already got someone in, and that is Knight. Is that Knight? Is that right? Oh my God, what the heck? Wow. So, and then Wallbant is in the top 8. What the heck is going on? This is crazy. So yeah, we've already got 1 semifinalist. That's pretty amazing. Wallbant is already into the top 8. And right now we're going to play all the way down to that match 29 person coming into the out of the orange bracket. So that's pretty exciting. Holy mackerel. So this is all very, very exciting. Not at all how I thought it was all going to shape up, but this is very, very exciting matchup. So, okay, that is the Masters event. We also have some stuff coming up after this in the DAS Masters event. And what we have for you is, again, the it's going to be the orange and yellow bracket again, but this time we've already played this match right here. We're going to play this match right here. So it's going to be Peak versus Blue Scooty. And then the winner will take on AV Geek, who has already defeated Merker, and then that person will move on to the round of 8 where to, you know, that right here to face AV Geek. And then we will play down to this right here. So, you know, we're making progress. But that's going to be later. That's at, what, 7 p.m. Texas time, so that's midnight UTC. But right now, it is going to be... Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. It's going to be... orange and yellow. Pixelandy, Sunny, Danv, and Crytical Lapis. All right, let's take a look at our rules. And the rules are that this is a 32-player single elimination flat bracket tournament based on the 1989 version of Tetris released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System on consoles. Players can play on emulator or console so long as the game mechanics, appearance, and statistics are unmodified. They can use any controller so long as no big buttons or turbo functions used by electronic or mechanical biological turbo only. Players should not receive any in-game advice, and they should not pause unless the commentator tells them to. If you do experience tech issues, just keep playing. Assume your score is going to count. Don't pause and ask for further instructions. I will give you the instructions. Just keep playing. These matches are best of 5, so the first player to 3 wins is the winner of the match. Level 18 starts all the way through level 39. Super kill screen should be turned on. We will be playing with an uncapped score, believe it or not. Holy mackerel. Same piece sets will be re-rolled in between each game of the match. By the way, the winner of this gets absolutely something, and that is a share in a prize pool, which has reached its top 8 incentive, $2,035. So look at that. We did it. Got a big contribution from Scott. Got us halfway there. Well, basically, the rest of y'all got us halfway there. It's Scott with the big, fourth quarter touchdown. So thank you so much, Scott, for your contribution, and everybody for your contributions. Remember, all our prize pools are funded 100% by you, the fans. So if you want to contribute to the prize pool, you can keep doing it. We've reached our incentive, but if you really feel like you want to support this tournament, use the Matcherino command while you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube. That'll bring up some links. The one that says Masters or ME, that is the right one. Click on that. It'll take you to the landing page for this tournament with our prize pool partner, Matcherino. Top right-hand corner of the screen is where the login button is. Click on that login button to, guess what? Log in. Wow. You can log in with your existing YouTube or Twitch account. Don't have to make a separate account. It's easy and fun. Really. Have I said how fun it is? Wow. Yeah, so once you're in, hit the orange button that says contribute and contribute to the prize pool. If you're watching after the fact, you can go to go.ctm.gg/prize to get to that page as well. And again, thank you to everybody who has contributed to the prize pool. That's how to support the players. If you want to support the channel, now why would you want to do that? But if you want this channel to keep going, if you don't want me to have to go work at Sprouts instead of giving you Tetris nearly every single month, you can you can go to patreon.com/monthly Tetris, make an ongoing pledge of support to support this channel, just like these people have done. There are other ways to support us too, but these people are doing it on Twitch. Scott, Great, Jane, Window, K9, Tacky, Corporal, Shelby, Troy, and Kim, Emerald, Potato, Cacket, Mila, and Jason are getting an extra shout out, and everybody on this slide deserves a great shout of support, so thank you. Other ways to support the channel, though, use the support command to find some of those. If you're on YouTube, you can use supers and channel memberships and gift channel memberships. On Twitch, you've got subs and bits and gift subs and Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime Gaming subs. All right, that's it. That's good. We good? Anything else? I think that's it. I'm just going to go over here and assume that everyone is playing and they're on stencil and everyone is happy. That is what I'm going to assume. Well, I know Sonny's not happy. Sonny's never happy, but all right, let me go ahead and get these players' cameras situated. You're live on your end? That's all right. We'll refresh you. No worries, man. We'll refresh you. All right, so we got to get that chair in view for Andy. The full Andy chair experience. This is his first match in this tournament for the month. We'll get Sonny refreshed. Oh, look at this. Beautiful, beautiful man. I didn't update your PB. Oh, crap. I forgot to. Wait, what's your PB now? Oh, shoot. I can do that while I'm waiting for Andy. Let me refresh both. What? Let me, somebody trigger the PB. 3.066. Holy crap. I'll do it right now. I'm a man of my word, mostly. Let's see. What is it? Orange. Sunny. Right. We'll do it right frickin' now. Frickin'. Sorry, guys. Sunny. Sunny, right. And where are you from? Scotland. By the way, I already made an exception for you because I do not, Scotland is not like a separate nation, but I put Scotland there because you deserve it. But I'm just letting you know. I go out of my way. Ironic to be called Sunny and to be from Scotland. True. All right, we're doing it right now. So what are you, Sunny? You're 17 SCT, right? 17 SCT 3.066. That's quite an improvement there. 3.06. And what was are you on the list? I don't remember if you're on the list. Hold on. You're not on the... Sonny couldn't possibly be ranked in the Premier poll, right? No, of course not. All right. Let me get orange, right? Okay. We're doing it right now, right in front of your eyes. All right. Here it is. Ready? Export. Player right 17.png. ME. Looks good. Ready? Holy crap. Did it work? It worked. Look at this, man. It's up to you. Happy now? You can stop complaining. Wow, look how happy he is. All right, that's thumbnail face. You better win now so we can use that thumbnail face. Actually, it's better if you don't win, because then it's like, you know, we're fooling people. All right, well, looks like Andy is here, so that's good news. Let me just go ahead and... Yeah, that is the give you the pieces music, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the pieces. Andy is he's very close to the edge of his camera today. That's all right. We'll make it work. All right, looks like both players are on seed and both players are ready. A31026, whoever pinned it, thank you so much for the pin. We're just going to get this started. Orange bracket top 16. Pixel Andy versus Sunny. The winner goes to the top 8 in 3. Whoops. He readied and unreadied. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Did you ready and then unready? I think you readied and unready, but that's too bad. That's your problem, not mine. All right, we are started. On the left side of your screen, Pixel Andy. He is the reigning Classic Tetris Monthly Masters event winner. He won in June after not having won in like 22, 23 months. So before Andy won last month, Savanya Nenu had the record for the most months in between CTM Masters wins at 20 months. And Andy hadn't won one since, I think, August of 2023 and won it in June. So that should be like 22 months, something like that. So Andy finally back on top of the Tetris world with a new, I wouldn't say a new play style, but maybe a new technique of an existing play style. Andy at 80,000, 78,000 for Sunny. Andy with knuckling, right? So knuckle rolling. So it's just like rolling, but instead of using the pads of the fingers to tap the underside of the controller, uses his knuckles, like if you were knocking on a door, those knuckles. But you don't knock with your first knuckles, do you? That would be weird. Anyway, 127 here for Andy. 125 for Sunny. Andy overall is a 5-time CTM Masters winner. He's been a Mega Masters player 4 times. He's played in our Lone Star events 3 times. He's also a 6-time DAS Masters winner. He's been a CTWC Gold bracket player 6 times, finished as the runner-up in 2020 and the top 4 in 21 and 22. He was also 4th in the DAS Jonas Cup, CTWC's North American DAS Championship. So Andy, yeah, he's got a PB of 11.96 million. That's a lot. That's good for 6th on the list, which is crazy. Qualden is the number 1 seed, 1.689, and in virtue of his number 1 seed, doesn't have to play until right now, the top 16, so it gets a 2-round bye. 248 for Sunny, 272 for Andy. So on the right side, that was Andy, and on the right side, it's Sunny. Okay, 271 for Sunny, 272 for Andy. No, I kid. Sunny, of course. Sunny qualified into seed number 17 with a 1.36 million. Sunny representing the sunny land of Scotland. He's got a brand new PB of 3.06 million. Coming into this tournament, it was 1.6 million. So he's nearly doubled his PB since this tournament began. Sunny has, 2 previous appearances in the monthly Masters event. Those were back in 2024 in the 16-player version of that event. 347 here for Sunny, 386 for Pixel Andy. And now this is really his debut in the 32-player version of this tournament. And he started out all the way in round one, defeated Somalian captain in round one, defeated Miles in round two to get here to play this match against our reigning champion, number one seed, Andy. Sonny has played in Mega Masters 3 times. He's won a Challenger circuit and a Future circuit. Those were both in 2023. He was the runner-up in the Classic Tetris UK event last year and was in the top 8 of that same event this year. 438 for Sonny, 478 for Pixel Andy. Vizamp says, Vandy, do you think he has to check that mustache at the airport? No, but I'm sure they do like a thorough search. We don't want anyone smuggling haggis into the United States, that's for sure. Keep that stuff away. 489 for Sonny, 549 for Pixel Andy. All right, a double and a Tetris for Sonny, 514. He's back by 36,000 points, gets another Tetris. Now he's ahead by 8 lines. Nice pullback for Sonny to make room for that incoming L to get Tetris ready immediately and then get a bar for the Tetris. So they're 1 line apart. Sonny back by 38,000. And he's going to enter 19 at 584 here in game number 1. Andy is going to enter 19 at 623. There's a Tetris for both of them. Still that 38,000 point lead. All right, Sonny not taking the burns here. All right, he's taking singles. Trying to minimize burns here. And certainly knows his opponent. Andy, of course, with that 11.96 million. Means he's very capable on 29. As is Sonny now, you know, provably with that 3.06 million. I don't know what level he died out at, but obviously you gotta be on 29 for a while to do that. Tetris for Sonny, 697, 712 for Pixel Andy. Other Tetris Sonny, 756, 717 for Andy. So Sonny with the real-time score lead, but also ahead by about 9 lines. And if you gave Andy a Tetris for, you know, whatever, for each of those, each 4 lines he's behind, Andy would be in the lead. So Andy with the pace lead, but by a very small amount, at least when I started that sentence. That's the problem with commentating these matches, is like by the time, you know, you start a sentence and by the time it's over, things change very quickly. So you just keep talking. All right, now about a 90,000 point lead for Sonny, and Andy was digging for a little bit. So this, I think this is a real lead now for Sonny. Now, we don't have all that fancy on-screen stats like you get in all those other Tetris organizations. But on the other hand, you know, our stream works a lot of the time. So, not all the time, but a good percentage of the time. There's a Tetris for Sonny. Max out for Sonny, 948. I can't resist the shade. It's so unprofessional. I can't resist. Max out here for Sonny on 27, 980 for Pixel Andy. All right, nice T-spin there for Andy. He is set up. Tetris for Sonny, 8 lines away from 29. Tetris Sunny B55 into 29. That's a 1.15 into 29. And he will have the lead at the 29 transition. And so he's going to get to work here. He gets another Tetris, 1.2. Andy's still on 28, 2 lines away. Going to Tetris into 29 at A98. So Sunny with about a 50 to 60,000 point lead when they transition in. Well, now let's see what Sunny can do. Both are rolling, of course, now. Andy knuckling, which is still rolling, just a different part of the finger. Oh, Sunny, that Z hang up, and yeah, he's not going to be able to tuck that ball around. So this is almost assuredly going to be, he might eke out some extra points. Well, he's eking out some points at the end. They could be a critical difference maker. We'll see what happens. C71 for Sunny. Target for Andy is C72. Now, he's less than a Tetris away, so 1 Tetris would seal it. He's got forever and a day to get this. Does not have to get all this by way of the Tetris, but by no means assured here for Andy. See what he can do. All right, well, he's going to clean this up a bit. Needs to get to C72 to clinch it, or at least a good enough C71. All right, just taking, and there it is. So Andy is good in game number 1. No fear of the chase down for Pixel Andy. So Sunny did great, but not enough here in game 1 against our champ. Hilo says, I use an old school and a TV. Vandy suggested it to me and I got it. What do you think, Hilo? Is it working out? That's the old school classic N. You don't have NES controllers? I think the consensus is that the controllers that ship with the classic N are actually okay. So you could probably stick with those for a while. Just don't bring them to CTWC. So. Wait, what are you saying? All right, let me get this. 020CB8. All right, those B's and 8s always tricky, but players got them. It's game 2. Pixel Andy and Sunny. Sunny looking to tie this one up. Andy up 1 game to nothing. All right, Danv, what are you saying now? All right, I can't follow what's going on. Oh, I think it's because I have top chat instead of live chat, maybe? There's extra chat here. Yeah, you know, if I switch it from live chat to top chat, then all of Dan V's messages get erased, right? Clearly his chat does not qualify the cutoff to make it into top chat. you gotta be a better chatter, Dan V. You gotta step up your chat game. Tetris Sunny 114, 95,000 for Pixel Andy. Game number 2. All right, Sunny here getting squared to death. Well, hopefully not to death, but see what happens here. All right, uncovers. Makes a skim, gets a Tetris Sunny 170, 178 for Pixelandy. Now, as far as I can tell, these players have only faced each other one time. Now, this is Liquipedia information, not match database information. So Liquipedia lags a bit, but just CTL. They've only played in CTL, have not played in CTM. Yeah, just the one match, and that was in CTL back in 2024. And that was a sweep by Pixelandy. So I guess at some point, CTL Division 1A, they changed. Like it used to be, all right, now, I haven't watched CTL. I mean, CTL's great, right? Nothing against CTL, but can't sit there and watch Tetris all day like you guys, okay? All right? But I thought CTL, everybody played each other twice, but is that not the case now in like some of the divisions? I guess they don't, because they only played against each other one time. And I thought CTL was like they played twice. TNP 2 times CTL equals 1. Yeah, that was the case, Ryan. It was definitely the case. Well, you guys, you know, back in the early days of CTL when I was paying attention to it, they definitely played each other twice. I don't know if it was at the level 1. Yeah, Junior says back in the day CTL would too. Yes. It is still the case? Oh, all right. All right, 11 pushdown points are the difference between Sunny and Pixelandy right now. All right, they both Tetris, take a burn here, so now Sunny is behind by a little bit. Vandy should play TNP. I don't even know if I'm going to have a home that I can live in a month, so yeah, I think we're going to, by the way, just so, you know, I never communicate in like, oh, make a big announcement. I just, you know, mention it to the 100 people watching. And then hopefully word spreads because people will ask in the Discord and then Cole will answer. That's how I communicate. That's my method of communicating. Say something on stream that I would need everybody to know. People start wondering about the thing and then Cole answers and said, oh, Vandy said on stream such and such. That's how I communicate. It works for me. But anyway, yeah, it's looking very much like September is not going to have any CTM events. Unfortunately, I don't want to have to do it, but I still have ongoing issues with this apartment, and it may not be a place that I can spend significant time. Due to issues with the apartment. I haven't been kicked out or anything, but it's just 577 for Sunny, 598 for Pixelandy. So yeah, I'm thinking that September will be, unfortunately, a break. I intended to go fully without a break this year, but it's not going to happen. 589 for Sunny, 626 for Pixelandy, just 4 lines apart. So really, I'm glad that I did not take a break at all this year, because that means now that I'm forced to take a break, we're only taking like 1 break for the year, which is perfect. Imagine if I had taken a break before and then I had to force to take another one. So good on me. $655 for Sunny, $709 for Pixelandy. Yeah, my apartment refuses to. Well, that's not true. They're doing a good job, but they're sending in amateurs to remediate a problem that needs to be done by professionals, and they're kind of cheaping out a bit. Tetris, Pixelandy, 764, 665 for Sunny. So I got to stay on top of them. Vandy, I live paycheck to paycheck. How can you take a break? Yeah, I mean, if you want to go back and if you want to make a bunch of shorts, I'll pay you. $691 for Sunny, $831 for Pixelandy. Tetris for Sunny, $729. He's ahead by 7 lines and back by 170,000 points. Tetris Sunny, $760. And that's also how I communicate with Danv. I don't send him messages on Discord. I don't email him. I just wait till he's on stream and then we go, oh yeah, make some shorts. All right, thanks. That's how I communicate. It's a highly functional organization, as you can tell. Max out here for Pixelandy, level 26, 866 for Sunny. Tetris Sunny 904, Andy at A61, now A95 after a Tetris. All right, Sunny kind of worked out, kind of lucked into a good placement there. Tetris for Sunny into 29 at 978. And Tetris for Sunny A16, but Andy at B66, 2 lines away. And there's a Tetris into 29 at CO2. So 1.2 entry into 29 for Andy, and that he might not get much more than that. He's got to bring this down. We'll see what happens. Well, he's chopping it down. Why am I doubting? I don't know. I don't know why I doubt this kid or anyone. My goodness. So Andy, I mean, 99% of players would have topped out. Andy's still going, bringing this down. C28 for him. Sunny starting to close the gap a little bit. B85. So Andy in this dig is allowing Sunny to sort of crawl back in. Well, that left side for Andy could be trouble, but well, he's kind of making it work. He's yet to Tetris, or hasn't Tetris in a while, but he's staying alive and adding points. I think is all he can really muster right now until he gets a break here to knock it all down. Oh, that's going to help a lot. So Sunny staying clean. Andy has got a path out of this, I think. Still got to execute. C68 for Andy, and he's almost dug out of this. Sunny, C58, he's within, 12,000 points in a Tetris for Sunny. So Sunny now has the lead, but Andy is clean and gets a Tetris. So like a dig for Andy of about 5 levels. He gets the lead back, but it's close. They can trade this lead back and forth. There's a Tetris down the middle for Pixelandy. Andy kind of all in on a bar in the middle, and he gets the bar, so now he can bring this back down again. Sunny has got to bring this down. He is behind. E17 for Pixelandy, D36 for Sunny. Oh, gets the bar in. And Sunny at D55, he's got to find Tetris here. There's a Tetris for Sunny, E05. He needs another one. And I don't know, maybe he can get 2, but Andy still has 13 lines in hand. Sunny has almost no lines in hands, and that is going to do it. Entry into 39 is E21. He can't get any more, and Andy is good. So Andy with the super clutch survival. It was like 50 lines of just digging like 8 rows above the bottom when he had multiple times that he was going to top out. I mean, like anybody else, except for like less than a handful of players, would have topped out. He's one of the handful that would not. Although it's also kind of surprising the guy is using his knuckles, guys. It's a play style that almost nobody else uses, or a variation of rolling that nobody else uses. So it's actually really hard to know like what is possible consistency-wise, but Andy showing you right now what is possible. So amazing performance from Andy just to stay alive, be patient, take it down, and then once he was burnt down, start throwing up Tetrises again and barely survives a surge from Sunny. So what a game two. That was insane. And really Sunny with the survival too. I mean, double 1.5. So holy moly. That was a game and a half. Like, it wasn't double rollovers, this and that, but I mean, that should be studied. Holy moly. Last stream of yours I watched, I think it was like 2 a.m. your time, and the energy difference between then and now is so huge. Well, you know, a lot of it depends on what time of day, because if people are home, I have to respect the people who are home, and if it's in the apartment, then and it's like late at night, then we have neighbors, man. I can't be screaming like Pixel Andy, you know. So a lot of it depends. Now, if I had a full-time studio, like if this were like a real legitimate thing, and I had like an actual studio that I could go to, holy moly, I can't go full Kingsman. I try to when I can, or at least I don't mean try to, but I allow myself to when I can. All right, both players are on seed, and Andy is up 2-0. So let us go ahead and count it down. Sunny needs to win to stay in and have a shot at that top 8. You pity my neighbors? Well, for the longest time, we had no neighbors. Like we had, all right. So for the like the people, we're on the top floor, which by the way, if you're going to be in an apartment, don't live below people. Always, even if it's a walk up, live on the top floor. Don't live underneath people. I can tell you from bitter, putrid experience, you do not want to live underneath people, okay? If you can at all help it. You might not be able to help it, but don't do it. I could tell you stories, but you'd throw up. Anyway, so we live on the top floor of our building. It's like 3 floors, so it's not like penthouse in the sky. But the people below us were like louder than I am because they had some kid there that was just, well, you know, just he was having some problems, and he would just scream at all hours of the day. So I didn't feel bad about yelling about, oh, dog playing Tetris and oh my God, Alex T and all that. I didn't care about that because they were louder than us. But now the people below us are actually pretty normal. So if it's the middle of the day, everyone's probably working, so I feel okay. Plus I put a carpet down and all that. But if it's late at night, I try to respect it, you know? All right, Tetris for Sunny, 172. Yeah, don't let anyone live above you. It's just, it's worth it. You live underneath people's leaks. Like if their stuff leaks or their dishwasher runs over, or worse. You live underneath that, and whatever they have drifting down will get onto your stuff. I lost all my camping equipment at a previous apartment. Now, covered by renter's insurance. Always have renter's insurance, by the way. But still, I love some of that stuff. Some of it wasn't available anymore. If it had been my baseball cards, I don't know what I would have done. All right, Andy, bar dependent, column 7. Got to chop this down bit by bit. 256 for Sunny. Andy digging a little bit. Tetris Andy 275, 286. Sunny. The only thing I don't like about living on the top floor. Now, I'm a person that has like a lot of books. You know, I maybe have like a fifth of my books here in my apartment. I have a ton more in storage. But I constantly have these intrusive thoughts like, what if I have too many books for the rating of this floor and it crashes the floor and we all crash through the... That's the only thing I don't like about living on the top floor. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I lived on the bottom floor, but all told, oh, you know, live on the top floor. 378 for Sunny, 370 for Pixel Andy. All right, Andy chopping this down. This is going to allow Sunny to get out to a little bit of a lead. About 52,000 point lead. 2.5 Tetrises. You just got an ad about books? Really? So if I mention stuff, you guys are going to get ads about it? All right, let's see if that happens. I want to see if what's something that I have not talked about ever before. And let's see if I talk about it, you guys get an ad about it. 494 for Sunny, 443 for Pixel. I just mentioned camping. But then again, I haven't mentioned camping very much in the stream, so I only just mentioned that, you know, today. So yeah, I mean, camping equipment. I used to camp a lot more. But I haven't camped in like, I don't know, like 10 years actually, which is kind of sad. N-Dog with the super chat, $20 set with another challenge, says get it up to 2,100 and I'll add another 100. All right, guys. 518 for Andy, 563 for Sunny. Oh, Sunny in a bit of a dig here. Okay, he's gonna survive, but this is a high transition into 19 and he gets a long bar over at 592. So anyway, N-Dog with his $20 super chat says if we get the prize pool up to 2,100, he'll kick in another 100. So, you know, if everybody watching here kicked in $1, we would get another 100 in that prize pool for these players, or at least for one of these players. So only one of them will make it into the prize pool. 673 for Sunny, 604 for Pixel Andy. Thank you, N-Dog, for the challenge. Certainly don't want to miss out on a $100 challenge. We'll see what happens. Yeah, use the Matcherino command. That'll bring up the links. All right, Sunny going to get that long bar over to the left. Nice little delayed burn. Open up that right side again. Still got the lead over Andy with lines in hand as well. He's 4 lines back. And, you know, about a half Tetris lead, something like that. We only have 3 prize pools. STM, we can close that. I just haven't removed it yet. All right, Sunny trying to bring this down and trying to maintain this lead. Long bar over Tetris. Sunny 751. So he's hung on to the lead. They're 1 line apart. Sunny ahead by 28,000. There's another Tetris Sunny. Tetris is on 24, worth 30,000. All right, Sunny opens up that right side long bar over Tetris, 822. Andy opens up the right. A well is waiting. A bar goes in. They both get a Tetris. Sunny still up 27,000. 1 line difference. Zelazawi with the 11-11 contribution. That gets us up to 2046-11. So that's 1/5 of the way toward hitting that challenge from N-Dog. All right, Sonny's got to take a good board. He's lost the lead. Andy is now ahead. All this digging costly for Sonny. So really just important for him to just get into 29 safely. A34 Andy, he's got the max. Sonny gets a Tetris. He's at 964 into 29. Andy is in at A70, so about a 100,000 point lead. Trans Rights with the $5 contribution. Thank you very much for that. Up to 2051, 49 away from the challenge amount. Oh no, Sonny's left side is a problem. He knows it. He's trying to fix it. Oh no, that kind of, yeah, just extra shift at the bottom, and that is going to do it. Sonny going to top out at A12, and Pixel Andy is good and is going to take this one in a sweep, but Sonny played great. So no shame there, Sonny. You had a great run. Started off in round one, captain, then Miles, you know, and Andy. That's a good run. All right, Sonny, we'll see you back in a year. Sonny didn't play that much. Uh-oh, we're being shown something. Oh, your color is going crazy. That's on your TV. That's not on our side. That's nuts. All right. Well. So congrats, Pixel Andy. You have won that one. Stick around because you're going to be playing the winner of this next one, and that is going to be Danv and Crytical. We'll just keep it right here. Oh, let me run the ads. We'll show you the jank live. Where's my Twitch thing? There it is. Oh, by the way, Burbia, thank you for the Prime sub. Hopefully this helps your housing situation a bit. Yeah, I mean, you guys are the ones keeping me alive. Barely, but you're doing it. All right, so let's run some ads. We'll jank this up a bit. Ad break. Ad break. So let's see. It's got to be 8 on the left. Danv. Oh, thank you, Sonny. I really appreciate that. I got to add you to the slide there. Thank you very much. But don't support the channel because of anything related to me. Support the channel because you want to keep the thing that you like around. Not to alleviate my suffering, but to further your own life and the things that you like. That's the important thing. Okay. All right. There are both the players. Let me go ahead and get them all ready to go. When was Danv Master win? I want to say February 2023. He was the first Faster Masters winner. So what is this? That should be, what was, it is 17, but there must be, oh, there it is. It's Das Masters. Like, so somebody in chat was like, Vanda, you got, like, it was Eyeball. It was the Eyeball video on YouTube. And they're like, Vanda, you got to update that that you got to update that avatar for Eyeball. It's so old. Meanwhile, it's like a year old. And it's just because he cut his hair. So I guess I'm supposed to update their avatars as people get haircuts. Like, I can't keep up with everybody's haircut, guys. I mean, of course, if I had to keep up with Danv's haircut, it would be changing the avatar like every month. He's always changing that hair. All right, players, I am going to go ahead and put some pieces in the chat. Remember, we have an active challenge from Ndog, who said if we get to $2,100 in the prize pool, that he'll kick in another $100. So don't let us fail to reach that. Somebody gives a little challenge. We want to make sure we get that. That's like, it's not free, but it's free to the rest of us. You know, it's free. You know, there's no reason not to get it. If everybody kicks in a couple dollars, we'll get it. Oh, I can't keep that color. That's ridiculous. All right, we'll just make it the color of Danv's walls. It's fine. So we need another $49 to make that extra $100 come true. So help us out if you can. Critical with the In and Out shirt. Oh, what about everyone has to be bald? Oh, that's possible. Yeah, it's definitely easy to keep up with Sonny's haircut, for sure. It's just big red mess. So as long as you got a big red mess, it'll look good. Big Red Mess is basically my biography. Well, I think I've titled it for you. At least I've given you a title. Now you got to go out and do something biography worthy, right? Go live a biography worthy life, and then you've got the title. Well, you're still young. All right, Lieutenant Boo, thank you for the raid party of 3. Thank you, Haha42, for chatting for the first time ever. Get rated, nerds, says Lieutenant Boo. All right, we have been rated. Don't forget being the longest running host of Euro Friendlies. No one even knows what that is, Kingsman. Euro Friendlies. All right, Critical, it's your time. It is your time to play 51E152. I mean, Euro friendly is a bit of a contradiction in terms, right? No one will ever know what Tetris deathmatch these days. Yeah, that's true. No deathmatch right now. We'll get there. I want to start it back up, and then we start having these apartment problems. So, all right, Critical. Do I need to refresh you, or are you like very far behind, or what is happening here? He's going at his own pace. Here, we'll refresh him. The other thing is, I would like to host deathmatch, but I feel like people, they have enough Vandy throughout the rest of month. They really need more. They don't want that. 5-1 E152 on both. Dan, you are on Tetris. Dan, you're on Tetris. You are not on Seed. Okay. You just got Seed checked. All right. Looks like both players are on Seed. Let's go ahead and get them ready. The yellow bracket will resolve right now. Danv versus Crytical. One of these players is going to the top 8. Let's find out who. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Oh, yeah, I got to do the monster voice, right?
Well, you just got Seed checked, bro.
I don't know why a monster is calling me bro, but all right. Whatever. At least he's kind of a cool monster, you know? At least he's calling me bro. On the left side of your screen, it's Danv, seed number 8, qualified in with a 1.50 million average of his best 2 games played in a 1-hour qualifying period. That is how qualifiers in monthly tournaments here on CTM work. And in virtue of his top 8 seed, he did not have to play in round 1 or round 2. He got a 2-round bye, so this is his first match of this month's Masters event. Danv is from the United Kingdom, and what a United Kingdom it is. He's got a PB of 3.83 million. That is a top 21 score, and he was also ranked 21 in the most recent Premier poll. Premier Poll is a ranking of Tetris players done on a monthly basis for open tournaments. Danv, number 21 on that list. You can see the full rankings over at premierpoll.com, Premier with an E at the end. Danv is a CTM Masters winner. That was back in May of 2023. That was our Faster Masters tournament. And Critical Lapis does not want me to get through the Danv intro. Or maybe he does. We'll see. We'll find out in a moment. He's going to open up that channel down the middle. Long bar goes in, and there we go. Tetris for Critical. So anyway, Danv, that one-time Masters event winner. He's been in Mega Masters twice. He's one of the few players to win a Masters, a Challengers, Futures, and Hopeful circuit. So he kind of has got the cycle. And he did that, achieved that over the span of 3 years, from 21 to 23. He's a 5-time CTWC Gold Bracket player, finishing as high as the top 16, which he did in 2022. Recently took first at the CTWC Paris Regional. And boy, what a spirit of Paris I got while watching it. Oh my God. Dan also was top 4 at CT UK last year, also played in it this year. Played in Austria regionals the last couple of years, Boston last year. He's all over the place. And he is also the editor and uploader for the YouTube channel that you might be watching right now. So that is Danv, 188 for Critical, 289 for Critical Lapis. And on the right side of your screen, Critical Lapis with a 1.50 also as a qualifier. Got a 1-round bye. And played Evesy in round 2. Evesy defeated Zro. They were both debuting in Masters. And Critical Lapis defeated Evesy. Critical with a PB of 2.27 million. That's a top 40 score. He's been in the monthly Masters 4 times. This is his 5th appearance. And this is his deepest run in the Masters so far. Previously, he'd gotten into round 2. That was in February. So looking to extend this run. He won a Community Tournament, Tier 2 back in April. He also played in Tap Masters, made it into the top 16 of that. You've also seen Critical at Regionals in Boston and in Philly this year. 360 for Critical, 437 for Danv. Cute Pup Jesus with the Prime sub. Thank you so much. Cute Pup Jesus Prime sub. We're back under 200 subs again. We're at 184. We're always have that constant fight to stay above 200 subs on Twitch. So if you have an Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime gaming subscription, consider using it on this channel that you are watching right now. Tetris for Critical, 437, 527 for Danv. How many members on YouTube? Oh, that's a good question. They don't make that as evident. By the way, we're still $49 away and at risk of losing the $100 pledge that Ndog made. Ndog said, oh, if we get to 2,100, I'll add another 100 on top. So we're 49 away from that. So, you know, if we just get 10 people to contribute $5 each into that prize pool, and that's for the players, y'all. That is not for your old pal, Vandy. Of course, you know, I'm just sitting on the beach all the time sipping Mai Tais, so I don't need it. So let's get it to the players. 547 for Danv, 562 for Critical. Cute Pup Jesus, 5 subs gifted over on Twitch. So thank you, Cute Pup Jesus. Really appreciate that. And Critical in a dig. And this is going to be tough because there's no... Well, all right, he's flattening it out a little bit. There's a long bar in for a split triple, I think it was. All right, he's bringing it down. All right, that square is going to help a lot. Long bar over to the right, and Tetris for Critical. Lap is 612. So Cute Pup Jesus, thank you so much for those 5 gift subs. They went out to Mojo Monkey, Adam Verbis, Davis WX, Corey Fenn, and DF4044. Really appreciate your support. That gets us up to 190. So 10 away from 200. $10 contribution to the prize pool from Arbaro. Wonder what Arbaro said. Critical Lapis is open in column 8. We're going to miss that T-spin. It's going to extend his dig. Just a couple extra burns here. Looking for a long bar. Gets it. Tetris for Critical Lapis, 686. Danv uncovers that little gap there in row 5. Now he's going to uncover the well. He's going to do that. Now he's waiting for the bar. Gets it. Tetris for Danv, 809. 691 for Critical. So let's see. Arbaro contributed $10 to the prize pool and said, join Tetris for the non-pros at ctm.gg. No, just kidding. tnp.tetris.lol. Yeah, you should do that. Join Tetris for the non-pros at tnp.tetris.lol. $879 for Danv, $751 for Critical. Thank you, Arbaro. Oh my goodness. All right, Critical gets that T-spin, and now, yeah, oh goodness gracious, that L piece is so sad to me. Let's see what he can do, and no, that is going to do it. Critical, 762, top out on 28. Danv is good in game number 1. The game is just being really mean with double flips, says Critical Lapis. All right, Danv's got the max on 28. And now he's just looking to pad stats here. Intentional top out. Clearly intentional. Open well. Liverpool scored, and I almost topped out because of it. Right at the end of 18. Whoops. Remember, the winner of this will play Andy in the next round. So we are now $39 away from unlocking that $100 pledge that N-Dog made. So if we can get to 2,100, it will instantly be 2,200, and he's made good on several of those pledges already in earlier broadcasts. So he's good for it. So now just if four people kick in $10, we'll get there. Are people still able to get on Matcherino.com? I don't know. Well, let's see. I don't appear to be having any trouble doing it. Let me log in and find out. Yeah, I mean, I'm on there right now. I'll direct link you in case it's the redirects, but here's the... Don't say stuff like that, Sebi. That's not good to say stuff like that, because someone will take you seriously and then they'll have contributed money in bad faith, or you know what I'm saying? Don't say stuff like that. 3FFD30, 3FFD30. Yes, good. All right, it is game number 2. Let us go ahead and count them down. 3, 2, 1. Tetris Critical looking to tie this one up right now. Yeah, don't joke about stuff like that, because if somebody does put it in, then they're gonna feel, maybe they didn't understand that your sense of humor was what it is. So $10 from Davis WX. Thank you for contributing that prize pool. The redirect is very slow. Okay. Yeah, it could be on our side then. I put the direct link in there as well. All right, that gets us up to 2071. So we're 29 away from unlocking the pledge from N-Dog. And, when someone's generous enough to do something like that, I like to hold them to it. I mean, it's like, why we don't want to miss out on it. So I get that sometimes I got to push that fundraising a little bit. Hopefully it's not too annoying, but just trying to keep this tournament going, get these players paid, have them keep coming back month after month, reward them for the time and their effort. $93,000 for Danv, 208 for Critical. Sebi says, I don't mind it because 100% of the money goes to the players. There isn't some corporation stuffing their pockets with half of it. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously Matcherino adds a little bit because they got to stay in operation and they deserve, to benefit from their efforts. I mean, God, I can't even imagine what we would do for prize pools if it weren't for a service like Matcherino, and they're not listening, they don't care what I say, but really takes so much of the hassle out of it as an organizer. Like I don't have to see the funds at all, so it never passes through my hands, right? Which, can you imagine the accounting on my side if I have to do that? So thank goodness for a service like that. It's been great. So now, of course, we wish, everything were free, but I don't know. I think people deserve to get paid for what they're doing. $379 for Critical. Now 403 after a Tetris. Danv at 310. So right now, Critical ahead by, I don't know, about 103,000, something like that. 7,000, whatever. I don't know. How does math works? 103. No. I don't know. Somewhere. I can't do math right now. 93. That's what it is. 93. Numbers are hard. Well, we don't have those nifty graphics like some of those other streams. Tell you the chase down. Well, do they even tell? Yeah, they tell you the chase down total, score difference, that thing, Tetris rate. Oh my God! Imagine if we had a Tetris rate here. Our understanding of Tetris would go off the charts if we had Tetris rate available. 425 for Danv. All right, Critical's going for it. He's going to set up for that Tetris well. Column 7, 2 rows up. Tetris rate is so cool. It tells you so much more useful information than the scores that are on the screen. Right? You want real-time stats so you can gamble on Tetris? Oh my God. I have no problem with sports betting and things like that, but it is a problem. It presents problems. It is not a problem, but it presents problems to be solved. And unfortunately, I don't think it would be very good for us to have betting on Tetris, because the prize pools relative to what can be won and lost wagering, players can be easily influenced. You know what I mean? Because what you could win and lose by gambling on it is less than the prize pool. It's like, or at least not less, but sizable portions. So 573 for Danv, 607 Critical. So I would not like to see gambling on Classic Tetris until it's massively huge. And the players are taking home 6-figure prize pools. 6. I mean, will that happen? I don't know. I can dream, can I? 689 for Critical, 655 for Danv. Yeah, what if someone pays Danv $10 to throw the match? We wouldn't want that. 687 for Dan. 723 for Critical. There's a Tetris Critical, 783. So Critical's had a lead for a significant portion of this match. It is closer now, though. Now, Danv probably with a bit of a 29 advantage, at least in terms of PB. I don't know how many lines Critical's PB took versus Danv's, but obviously these were not done in 39 cap games. Tetris Danv 853, 906 for Critical, unless Critical had like a perfect game all the way until 39. But I think I would have heard of that. He has a 1.85 into 39. It's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, Danv going aggro here, building out in that column 8 and 9 with that LP. A couple of Tetrises here is his reward. And he's got the lead real time. Critical kind of gaps in the stack, burning here. So this is it's a lot closer now. Danv, I think now with the real time and the pace lead. Danv got the max out. He's on 28. Dirty Tetris, Critical 973. Another Tetris, Danv into 29 at a 95. Max out for Critical. He's on 29. Danv into level 30. All right, Critical getting set up for one. Taking the skims, keeping it low. Long bar over Tetris, Critical, A60. Danv, clean board, knocking it down. Nice little S flat there. Gets Tetris ready again. Long bar over Tetris for Danv, B62. A72 for Critical. 90,000 point lead for Danv. Critical setup. Tetris for Critical. There's one Danv. Danv still up. Well, I guess when the lines are closer, well, I don't know. It's actually a pretty close pace lead, but in a lot of ways, that pace thing doesn't really matter. I mean, if they're not going to survive till 39, they've got to get closer for that to matter. And Critical with misdrops and just forced errors in the middle of the board. That is going to be a top out for Critical at 1.202. Danv is good with the 1.3 on level 34. So Danv is going to go up 2 games to none. If you see a 2 mil PB, you have no idea if that was 350 lines or 700. Yeah, that's true. But either one says something, doesn't it? Like, either one is impressive, actually. So, but all right. What happened in Andy versus Sunny, by the way? Tugi, guess. I'll give you a guess. No, I'm just kidding. Andy won it 3-0. PB is 2.86. Oh, well, coming into the month, it was 2.27, according to everything I could see. So, all right, if you make it into the semis, I'll update it. Well, actually, I could update it very quickly right now. That wouldn't be so bad. Who are you, Critical Lapis? Capital L. All right, I gave you guys the pieces, right? Yeah, the pieces are there. 2.86, is that what you said? And what are you, number 9 from the USA? Unranked. Do you want to have red hair? No, I'll give you your own face. Do you want to be from Scotland? Where do you want to be from? Critical. Critical right. The critical right. All right. What is this? ME right? Anyway, the pieces are in the chat, guys. So anytime you're ready. There you go. We did it. Happy now? Danv just disappeared. Does anybody not have the Tetris blanket? I don't think that's the Tetris blanket. That's a Tetris blanket. Is that link right? I get this matchreno.com doesn't support a secure connection. Oh, do they have like a certificate problem? He's going over to Critical's house right now? Oh, crap. Lapis says, where did the genuine Van Dweller compliment channel point reward go? Well, now that you started coming back to the channel, I had to get rid of it. Yeah, there's a seed. Didn't I give you a seed? It's right. No one pinned it. Nobody pinned it. Yeah, I'll pin. Everyone's a mod. Nobody's pinning. That's all right. I'll do it. Arctic, you're an adult. You don't want to be a mod, Arctic? All right, Bacon, can I trust you not to... How many mods can I have? All right, looks like both players are ready. A0AFE4. All right, looks like both players are ready. Let's get them started. Game number 3. Danv looking to wrap it up right now. Critical needs to win to continue. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. The certificate is valid until November. Got it. Guys, we had another contribution to the prize pool, by the way, while I was dealing with all that stuff, and it came from Fancy Mimi. So we had one. Fancy Mimi, Davis WX, Arbaro, Trans Rights, and Zella Zowie. They're all trying to help us get to that $100 pledge from NDog. We need $18.89 more to lock in that $100 pledge. So somebody wants to do the whole thing all in one swoop, or 2 people with 10, that would do it. And then that would unlock $100 into that prize pool. 136 from Danv, 141 for Critical. So let's not let that not go to let's not let that go to waste. That's how things work. Oh, the early tuck for Critical. That's going to slow him down a little bit. He'll have to waste some burn lines. No, and he's going to miss that S-spin as well. Tetris for Danv, 253, 201 for Critical. See, Critical is going to build for it? No, he's just going to bring this down. So Critical board. All right, there we go. Tetris for both 234. And he gets another dirty. So 2 dirties here for Critical. He's going for another one. He gets it. 281. 367 for Danv. Danv on pace for a high 600 transition if he keeps, going at this pace. Maybe even a 700. What the heck? Tetris Danv 412 through 75. There's another one. Not even at 80 lines yet, and he's got 435. All right. Critical here. A little bit of a frustrating sequence. Gets a couple Tetrises, though. And we'll bring this down. All right, little 200 IQ burn, as they used to say back in 2019. Now it's just a 100 IQ burn. Tetris Critical 382. And a couple more Tetrises for him. Danv open center well, column 5. Trying to keep this open, and does. And he's got a 1 burn transfer after that Tetris. So 520 for Danv, 428 for Critical. Zelazali with the 1889. The heroism exhibited by Zelazawi. My goodness. Thank you so much, Zelazawi. Really appreciate your 2 contributions to get us to that 2100. And that means we have locked in, I think, that 100 extra from N-Dog. Cute Pup Jesus has gifted subscriptions to the channel. It's 10 of them. That gets us up to 200 subs. Thank you so much, Cute Pup Jesus and N-Dog. The various ways in which you're supporting the channel. And Critical with that critically high transition. There's a Tetris for him, 537. He's going to bring this down. Danv 618. Kind of a double wide well on the right side, so he's got a lot of burns. He's chopping it down. Long Bart, Tetris, Danv 647. 565 Critical. Just can't seem to hit that S-spin the last couple of tries. So anyway, yeah, thank you again, Q-Pup Jesus. Pete, Mac, Oldies to Go, Oopsie, the alt of Pixelandy. Domi, Nubule, valid username, and a purple lantern. All received gift subs. Wow. N-Dog with the said he was going to do 100, but actually came in with 300. Look at that. Thank you so much, N-Dog, for the contribution to that prize pool. That is going to get us up to 2,400 in the prize pool. Thank you so much, and I'm sure the players are excited, or at least the players are going to make it into the prize pool. So thank you again. That is very, very generous, and really appreciate the challenges too. Like, I think challenges are fun. Gives me a chance to lay the guilt on extra thick. And just unapologetically push the prize pool, you know. So I like it. So thank you, N-Dog. And Critical. Oh, no. All right, a little bit of give up here. We'll see. He's bringing it down. If he can get a bar quick, he's got a burn there for a double. He's knocked it back down. So Critical Not done yet. Could use a J piece. Oh, that bar will work. Oh, just bar this man. Oh, no. Well... All right, well, it looks like Crytical is going to bring this down. He's just a few lines away from bringing this down. So huge survival. I think just body language-wise, he had given up, but got the pieces. So never give up. 872 for Crytical. He's not that far behind, you know, given what is available. 100 lines until 29. So Danv at 999. Tetris for him. And Crytical still in this. All right, he's bringing it down. There's a Tetris for Danv into 29 at A72. And he's Critical's going for it, and he gets a Tetris column 4, I think it was. He's got a clean board here, level 32. Danv A91. Crytical back by, 120,000 points. I'm not that far back. It's 2 Tetrises in the late levels. This is definitely still close. Tetris for Danv. Crytical opens up that right side. Oh, and he gets that S to the left. Oh, no. There's the Tetris for Crytical. So can he pull something out of the hat again here? And I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So Crytical going to top out at A83, but some pretty heroic digs to stay alive for Crytical. I feel like on a couple of times he had that sort of give up energy where just resignation, like, oh, okay. And then he was able to get out of it. So never, ever, ever give up. So, yeah, great survival there for Crytical. You did really well. This is your deepest run ever. You made it into the top 16 for the first time. So I call that progress. So congratulations, Crytical. Danv, you are moving on to the top 8. And you're going to play Pixelandy, our reigning champion. Again, GG's Crytical. Hope to see you again in future months. Let's run an ad real quick. Let me report this. Let's see. Run an ad. Report. And then we'll move all these people around. Let's see. We'll just reset all that. Top 8. Let's see. Goodbye, number 9. Hello, number 8. Oh my God, it's going to be Danv versus Danv. Can you have 5 minutes? Sure. Let me tell Pixelandy that it's time to start right now, and then he'll be ready in 5 minutes as well. Andy, we're starting right now. All right, there it is. There's what we got. You ready? All right, we'll show you the bracket while we wait. So yeah, 5 minutes has been requested by the players. That's fine. Danv with the Prime resub, 49 months. Appreciate that. All right, a couple more minutes. I'm monitoring our players, when they come back, we'll come back. All right, folks, I'm starting to see players walk around their rooms. So while those players get settled, I am going to go ahead and let you know what we have coming up, because we have this match, between Pixelandy and Danv, but we have two other matches coming up at 7 p.m. So right now it's 4:41. So basically 2 hours, 19 minutes from now, we have a DAS Masters Top 16 that is going to take place. It's just two matches. And it's going to be this. It's going to be Peak versus Blue Scooty. And then the winner will take on AV Geek, who has already defeated number one seed Merker. So that will fill in this and this. So that'll be our first semi-finalist of DAS Masters for the month determined. And tomorrow we also have some other stuff going on. I don't have a schedule slide for you, but I will tell you what it is just so you know what is going on. It's going to be two Masters streams. What is it? So the first thing is going to be Blue Purple Top 16. That is going to be Dog. Oh, I'm sorry. Meme versus Guafi. That is going to be something. So Meme versus Guafi, Cole versus Tugi, then winner versus winner. It's going to be at 2 o'clock Central U.S. time, which is 19 UTC. So Meme, Guafi, Cole, Tugi playing down to a semifinalist. And then about 4 hours after that starts, it's going to be green and teal. So it's going to be dog versus dangler, winner versus wallband. So a ton of Masters is going to be resolved tomorrow. So make sure do that. Bacon says Tap Masters will end in July 70th or something. Now, it hasn't been added to the schedule, but I think it's actually I think it's Saturday is what the players have all agreed to. I don't think the schedulers added it to the schedule yet, but I think that's what they've agreed to. So keep Saturday open. All right. All right, players, I'm going to go ahead and refresh your cams, make sure that everybody's nice and up to date, and then I'm going to drop pieces. We got to go. You know, I got a lot of things to do, okay? My guys. So the pieces are about to be dropped. Dan, you've had more than 5 minutes. Then again, you spent 1 minute of that subbing with Prime, so maybe that maybe that makes up for it. So let's just get Danv back on cam, and then I'll drop the pieces. I mean, what the heck? Pixel Andy is early. Andy, you're early now. Dan, you're so late that Pixel Andy is early. What the heck? Oh no! Pixel Andy got up. It's going to be another 10 minutes. Oh, Dan. What are you doing? No, forget it. We're done. We're toast. I have to do this tomorrow. All right, I guess I'll just play Tetris until you both are ready. I'll tell you guys if I max out. No, I'm really only playing Transition Trainer. I've been okay. All right, good. Here we are. So I'm gonna drop pieces in chat. The pieces are here. 81129A. So players, when you're ready, enter 8112 9 alpha. So what I'm doing is all my practice right now. I'm not playing that much, but maybe like an hour a day. It's just playing Transition Trainer and then counting Tetrises, and my goal is to get 10 Tetrises on a Transition Trainer 19 start. 10 Tetrises. Because if I can do that a lot and then count them. So if I can do that like once a day, then I have a shot at a max out. Yeah, it's about 350 posts. Yeah, exactly. I at least have a shot at a PB anyway, right? So I've been able to do that like the last 4 or 5 days. I've been able to get one session where I get 10 Tetrises on a 19 transition start, at least one an hour, which is good. So if I can do that a couple times an hour, holy moly, that would be great. Then I'd be consistent enough to really go for PB attempts. All right, Danv, please. Andy is sitting in his chair. It's so rare to see Andy sitting in a chair, waiting to play for another opponent. I don't know what to do about it. You do this counting strat to ease aggression? Yeah, really, because I just have to get one per level. So I'm like, well, I already got mine for this level. I can take a little break and reset. I do that too. That helps. Absolutely. The icing is real. I know. Danv, such a scupperer, right? He's trying to scupper Pixel Andy right now. All right, looks like we got 2 players seated. 81 12 9 8. Looks like both players are ready. Let's get them started. This is the top 8 of the CTM Masters event for August 2025. Pixel Andy and Danv. One of these players is going to the semifinals. Let's find out who it is going to be. Will it be Pixel Andely or Dandely Veedly? What? 3, 2, 1 Tetris. I can't talk anymore. I'm done. I think it's all the mold in the air. I think it's got to my brain. My brain. Yeah, Andy Danv. I can say words now. Andely Bandely. Yeah, it's not going to be hard for me to say Andy versus Danv. That is going to be simple for me to say, right? Doodly doot. On the left side of your screen, Pixel Andy qualified into seed number 1. He's from the USA. He's got a PB of 11.96 million, which is a top 10 score on the leaderboard. Former score world record holder. And he's currently the 7th ranked player in the Premier Poll. You can see the full rankings over at premierpoll.com. Premier with an E at the end. Andy is our reigning CTM champ. He won Masters in June after what, a 20, I didn't count exactly, but I think it's 22 month pause on his Masters activities there, at least winning anyway. So pretty exciting to have Pixel Andy in championship shape. Of course, in the meantime, while he was, recovering from injuries and figuring out how to roll in a different way, I just went on to win like 6 of our DAS Masters tournaments and high finishes and several other DAS events as well. No big deal. But Pixel Andy, 5-time winner of the Masters event. Andy is also a 6-time CTWC Gold Bracket player, runner-up in 2020, top 4 in 21 and 22, 4th in the DAS Championship for North America for CTWC. That's the Jonas Cup. That's coming up. The 2025 one is coming up not too far from now. So, Andy's also been in Mega Masters 4 times. He's been in the top 8 of that twice. And he's been the runner-up in our Lone Star Championship twice. So Andy looking to go back-to-back. Of course, he made history last month because he won both Masters and DAS Masters in the same month. $256 for Andy, $258 for Danv. On the right side of your screen, it is Danv. Danv qualified into seed number 8, got a 2-round bye, just like Andy did. Oh, by the way, Andy got to the top 8 by beating Sunny in the round of 16. Danv got there by defeating Critical Lapis. Danv qualified in with a 1.50 million. That was the average of his best 2 games played in a 1-hour qualifier. He's from Great Britain. He's got a PB of 3.8 million. That's a top 21 score. He's our YouTube uploader, and editor. Danv won Faster Masters back in May of 23. He's also one of the few people to win a Masters, Challengers, Futures, and Hopefuls. He's a 5-time CTWC Gold Bracket player. He finished as high as the top 16, which he did in 22. He's the winner of this year's Paris Regional. He was top 4 in CTUK last year and Austria in 24 and 25. And you've seen Danv at other regionals, including CTUK this year. Boston last year, the CTWC DAS tournament, I think in 23. You see Dan all over the place. And he is here now looking for a shot at the semifinals. 449 for Danv, 429 for Pixel Andy. Of course, Pixel Andy going for that back-to-back. The last time Danv was in the top 8, or, at least the top 8 of CTM, was No Cap November of last year. The last time that he was in the semifinals was the month that he won in May of 2023. 543 for Dan, 523 for Pixel Andy. Dan with 567 entry into 19. Yeah, Squirrel and Flannel says Andy, Danv. Yeah, Andy, Danv, Vandy. It's not easy. 617 Danv, Pixel Andy in at 551 or so. Both players rolling, although now I don't know if Andy's rolling on 18 or not, but certainly on 19 and 29 he's doing a variant of the rolling technique where instead of using his fingers, the pads of his fingers to tap the bottom of the controller like Danv is doing, he's using his knuckles, his knocking knuckles. 633 for Danv, 661 for Pixel Andy. So Pixel Andy has gotten out to a bit of a lead. So Danv has been burning for a bit. Chen is here. Welcome, Chen. Tetris Danv 678. There's one. Pixel 87 48. Tetris Danv 753. There's another one, 785. Danv ahead by 13 lines right now. Tetris for Andy. So now 7 lines ahead and I don't know, about 65,000 points back, something like that. Dirty for Pixel Andy. These matches are best of 5 here in the Masters event. It is an open play style event, meaning all play styles are welcome. Of course, it is rolling that dominates, but people do get in with other techniques. But so far, it's been, it's been pretty much since the advent of rolling. There's a couple tappers right as rolling got kicked off, but it's been all rollers. 933 for Danv, 972 for Pixel Andy. Max out for Danv. Andy's already got one. Dan is into 29, though. A little bit high-centered here, so trying to dig this down. Oh, that bar to the left could be fatal. And Danv going to top out 8-12. Andy is good in game number 1. Chen says Eliash made it into the Masters event not too long ago with Das. Yeah, and in a world where the kind of the bottom end of the CTM qualifiers are still in 1.1, then Das is definitely a plausible way to get into the tournament. And really, you can win an early match with that as well. With a lot of the early rounds, players topping out immediately or soon after 29. All right, new pieces are here. A09086. Thank you, Barrett, for pinning the seed. Remember, if you're an Amazon Prime member, then you get a Twitch Prime subscription once a month that you can grant to the streamer of your choice. And while it's nothing extra for you, it does give that streamer a little bit of a financial boost. So consider using it for us, and it's use it or lose it. on a monthly basis. So you cannot save them, cannot stack them, nothing like that. So if you don't use it in a given month, it goes away. So don't lose it. You don't always have to use it for us, but sometimes use it for us. That would be nice. Okay, looks like both players have signaled ready A09086. And it's game number 2. Danv looking to tie it up. Texas 8 with the Prime sub, 3 months. Thank you so much, Texas 8. Really appreciate that. Oh, Danv, look at this board for Danv. He's got a huge chasm down there. I was kind of looking, doing some moderation activity, so my apologies, my attention wandering here, but Danv trying to get all this sorted out. With this platform, it's almost like tree strats here for Danv, like he's doing a speed run. Tetris speed runs, usually you will set up a few rows of garbage so that you can reduce the amount of time it takes for pieces to get from the top to from the top of the board to the top of your stack, and so those are called tree strats, and it will look a lot like what Danv's board looks like right now. 239 for Danv, 236 Tetris for Pixelandy, 259. Somebody was asking earlier also the number of members, or members on YouTube. Somebody was asking that earlier. We have 29. Tetris Wars with the raid party of 26. Go to twitch.tv/Tetris Wars to see 8-player Tetris action. If you want to see 8 people all at the same time playing Tetris, and why wouldn't you, really? Go over to twitch.tv/Tetris Wars. 255, thanks for the raid. For Danv, 327 for Pixelandy. N-Dog with the Prime sub. Thank you, N-Dog. Really appreciate that. N-Dog says, I'm rarely on Twitch itself. I mostly watch from YouTube. I mean, YouTube has some great benefits. One is just the ability to pause a live stream or to scrub, like rewind and all that. So that's a great benefit. I don't blame. I mean, why would you blame? I mean, people can watch. There's nothing blameworthy about it. But I don't. I usually watch stuff on Twitch generally speaking, because I don't know, a lot more of the I feel like the audience on YouTube is more kind of fan oriented as far as who's in the chat, and the Twitch tends to be the players more. And, you know, some of the longtime community members, the ones who hang out in the Discord, more often tend to be on Twitch. And so I just feel more comfortable over there. But, you know, both obviously have their benefits. 517 for Pixel Andy, 413 for Danv. I think on Twitch, too, we're much less likely to get just in streams across, you know, in general, not just here, but every Tetris stream, you're much less likely to get like trolls and kind of people coming in with their own weird agendas and things like that. So it just happens on YouTube a lot more. So it's more Wild West. 449 for Danv, 566 for Pixel Andy. And also, the character limit in Twitch and YouTube chat is much less, so you can't do copy pasta as well, you know, over there. Twitch, you got many more characters to work with, so. 644 for Pixel Andy, 516 for Danv. Yeah, Danv ahead in lines by like 16. And, you know, fairly far back in score. We'll see how this shakes out. All right, Danv's had a weird board for much of this game. All right, there's a dirty for Dan. Dirty Dan. So another Tetris for Dan, 616. 805 for Andy. Squirrel and Flannel says, if it weren't for the YouTube algorithm recommending a Pixel Andy stream a few years ago, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. I mean, certainly no one's dogging YouTube by any means. And yeah, in terms of like discovery and people coming in, YouTube is better at, you know, kind of surfacing that kind of thing to people. I feel like on Twitch, you kind of have to... most people know what they're here for, whereas sometimes, yeah, on YouTube, you get more people wandering in. Like someone, this just got recommended to me and I didn't know what it was, but now I love it, you know? Which you like to hear. Oh, there's a nice dirty Tetris Danv after a pullback. 730 for him. 961 for Pixel Andy. Another Tetris and another Tetris for Danv. 800. Yeah, he's ahead by 23 lines and back by almost 200,000 points. So Andy has got the max out on 26. There's another Tetris for him. 1.2. Would that be on the table? Yeah, potentially. He's almost got the 1.1. He's still on 27. Danv into 29 with a high board, though. We'll see what Dan can do. And the answer is not much. So Pixel Andy is going to go up 2-0. Sonny says UK pace. So Andy, you are good. Chen says, if it weren't for Jonas versus Joseph Salih, I wouldn't be here, Vandy. I missed the 2019 Tetris era. Oh, Cute Pup Jesus gifted a tier 1 sub. It went to Lobster Dust. Thank you, Cute Pup Jesus. Appreciate that. All right. Andy's going to get the 1.2. And he's on 120. He's on 29 and tops out. All right. The pieces are being delivered to the players. 266FEB. And I am drinking coffee at 5 p.m. So you know I have another stream going. Danv says, no matter what happens, I still have Andy's AirPods. Yeah. Just sell them, dude. Don't send it back. Just sell them. You know, Andy's winning CTMs again. He can afford new AirPods. All right, both players have signaled ready. 266 FEB. All right, it is game 3. Pixelandia is up 2 games to none. Danv looking to win to stay in the tournament and the match and all that. And 3-2-1 Tetris. N-Dog in the chat says, don't keep forgetting to pump up that prize pool. Let's see 2,500. All right, N-Dog wants it to get to 2,500. We'll see. Tash Pickle says, is that a Tetris bed spread for Danv? Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of Tetris blankets out there. There is a $5 dollar store quality Tetris blanket that you could get at Five Below, the discount store. So I stumbled on that one. I don't even remember what I was looking for that day. Sir Kookie just subbed on Twitch. Thank you so much, Sir Kookie Prime. Says, use it or lose it. Indeed, use it or lose it. But yeah, I forget what I was going in there for. I don't even remember. Probably some USB cable of some sort. And I stumbled on that Tetris blanket. I'm like, well, I gotta have that. The Squirrel in Flannel with the tier 1 sub. Thank you, Squirrel. Appreciate that. We got a minute left in our level 2 hype train on Twitch. Oh my goodness, hype train. Guys, you love those hype train emotes, don't you? My God, I live for those. One more sub for level 3, says Cute Pup Jesus. True, and then we'll renew our hype train. I like the spirit of the hype train. You know, Twitch is trying to get you all the, hey, support the channel. Let's, you know, create some momentum. It doesn't really work out that way. I don't know. I haven't really been in a stream where people are super motivated by the hype train. But Commodore Friday with the 100 bits. 27 seconds left in that hype train, so maybe you are motivated by it. I don't know. Twitch is trying to get you to send them money. Well, yeah, but by getting the channel money too, right? So win-win. Abby Normal with the tier 1 sub, 55 months. Thank you, Abby Normal. All right, I guess we're now on level 3. Maybe those hype trains are a thing on like big streams, but I don't know. I just don't see them. I don't see people going, oh my God, hype train, we got to keep it going. I don't know. I guess I don't watch enough Twitch. I really only watch Tetris on Twitch and a couple of speedrunners, but I don't watch like big streamers. Do you get a 50-50 split or 70-30? I get 60-40, I think. Hype trains were big on Jonas's stream, says Barrett. Yeah, well, he's Jonas, you know. I'm stupid Vandy. You know, he's Jonas. Not going to compete. Of course, he probably didn't make fun of the hype train, right? Don't hype trains reduce sub cost? I don't know. 288 for Pixel Andy, 346 for Dan V. So Dan V has a lead right now. What the heck is a treasure train? I don't know. It's some kind of rare hype train. Squirrel Flannel says, I feel like I will be watching this enough that you should contribute. Well, thank you so much for that. $4.14 for Dan, $3.79 for Pixelandy. Quad Track with the first time chat says hello. Hello, Quad Track. Dan V up high on this board. And Pixelandy doesn't like his own board, but Dan V up pretty high right now. Oh, my word. Oh, that left side for Dan V. That is going to be a top out for Dan V at 423. So Pixel Andy with a chase down target of 423. 424. If he can get it, he will win the orange-yellow bracket. So he needs to get to 424. And it's a huge drought. It's a huge drought. And you can tell Andy, this needs to be like that needs to be a GIF or something, or a sticker. Just Andy like yelling at the board. Someone needs to clip that and make it a sticker. And there it is. Pixel Andy is your orange bracket winner. Congratulations, Andy. You are going to make it into the semifinals for the second straight month. So look at this guy. He is Pixel Andy, and I'm following him around. He's moving around. Oh, you can't. He left the screen. All right. Well, that is going to do it for. Oh, he's flexing. Hold on, guys. We got to see him. Do his flexing here. Let me report this to the centralized Tetris reporting agency before we get raided by the FBI for withholding important Tetris results. So all sweeps. Wasn't it all sweeps today so far? Look at that. He's got his quick tap. He's on point. All right, here is the bracket. I will refresh it. I will show it to you, and then we will regard it and consider it. Pixelandy is into the semifinals. That is our second semifinalist. Knight is already in, having defeated Blue Scooty in a decider. So, yeah, so Masters event, we're making some progress. Tomorrow in the Masters event, we will, I think, resolve pretty much the rest of the semifinals. Tomorrow we have got we have got, go to Discord if you want to see the full thing, fully up to date all the time. Tomorrow we've got Meme versus Guafis. This is blue and purple. We're going to resolve that all the way down to a semifinalist. Meme, Guafi, Cole, and Tugi. That's at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That should be 17. That's at, no, it's 12 plus 3, 14. That's 19 UTC. So that's a good time for Europe to watch. Or, well, some of Europe. Unless you're still at work. Do you guys work? I don't know. And then 6 p.m., so 4 hours after the starting time of that. So basically at 23 UTC, 6 p.m. Central Time, Dog, Dangler, winner versus Wallbant. Because Wallbant is already into the top 8. So, and yeah, and then that will, so tomorrow, by around this time tomorrow, we'll be well on our way to filling out our entire semifinals. We'll know who is there. And that'll be good. So yeah, so the winner, yeah, it's kind of interesting because the winner, so Andy will either be facing Meme, Guafi, Cole, or Tugi. So we're guaranteed at least one new winner in the top half. And in the bottom half, Knight is already, not winner, but we're already guaranteed one non-winner. So trying to go for a final spot. Knight is already in. And then if either Dangler or Wallbant it gets in ahead of Dog, then we would have 3 potentially new winners of CTM. Dog could get in, and maybe it could be a Dog versus Andy finals. So there's a lot of interesting possibilities given the way this is all shaken out. Danv getting his first top 8 of the year. You get into the money. Congrats, Danv. At least, you know, if I can't pay you, at least trying to get into the top 8 every month, so you know I don't feel as guilty. All right. All right. So after this, so in about an hour and 40 minutes at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time, that's going to be midnight UTC. That is what do we got? We got a DAS Masters bracket. That's going to be Peak Scooty winner versus AV Geek. That's going to be in the yellow bracket. So the end of the yellow bracket, right-hand side, Peak versus Blue Scooty. AV Geek is already into the top 8. So those 2 matches will be tonight. That will determine who goes into the semis of DAS Masters. In fact, that'll be our first semifinalist of DAS Masters. We don't have anybody yet. Here's a round of 8 if you want to look at it. So that'll be our first semifinalist going right there. All right. Well, I guess I will see you guys in a couple of hours. Thank you, everybody who contributed to the stream. New followers, Cheesy Gigabyte, HG, Duck Rental, Twitch Sub, Burbia, QPup Jesus, Corey Fed, Davis WX, DF4, Vrad and Verbus, Mojo Monkey, Acidic Ascetic, Oldies to Go, Mac, Nubule, Purple Lantern, Oopsie, valid username, Domi955, Pete JKB, The Alt of Pixel Lady, Dan V Pants, Texas 8, N-Dog, Talvit, Lobster Dust, Cirque Cookie, The Squirrel and Flannel, Abby Normal. Bits came in from Commodore Friday, Super Chats from N-Dog, Raids from Wars and RXS, and Lieutenant Boo. A lot of those Twitch subs came from gift subs from Cute Pup Jesus. So thank you for giving those out. Really appreciate that. If you want to support the channel, do it. Patreon.com/monthly Tetris. Scott Gray, Jay in the window, K9 Tacky, Corporal Shelby, Troy Dan, Kim M, Rogue Potato, Cacket, Mila, Jason. I got a few names to add here, so I'll try to get those at some point. I keep saying that, but I really got to get that done. But thank you all. And prize pool, that is DAS. That is not the right prize pool. This is the right prize pool. Masters event prize pool, $2,400. We had some big contributions come in. We had a pledge that came in from N-Dog. He said, oh, I'm going to drop $100 if we get to 21. And it said he dropped in $300. Hopefully that was not a typo. It says, I'll triple it for the community. Thank you, N-Dog. Really appreciate that. And for Zelazawi, Meme, Davis, Arbaro, Trans Rights, and Zelazawi, I guess Zelazawi twice, you all contributed to get us to that goal. So thank you for making that possible. All right, we'll see you guys in an hour and 40 minutes. Thanks again for hanging out. Congrats to all of our players. I think everybody we saw today made progress or had a good, solid result. So good to see people making progress. YouTube, we'll see you in a bit. Thank you again. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. And Twitch will raid you. I'm going to raid. Let me see.